Okay, so I'm going to start off by saying welcome to my podcast. Welcome to the Come Join Us podcast. I've got Lawrence van der Besthuizen who's actually chatting with us this afternoon. And there's always a first for everything, and Lawrence has always been our first because we started our first Come Wine with us about 7 years ago with Lawrence's beautiful wines from Arendsig. And we had it around a kitchen table, and this evening we're doing our first podcast, which we're also doing around a beautiful table at the beautiful premises of Arendsig, an estate on the Bonneville Road. No, it's not Bonneville, it's, what do you call this road?
R317,
R317, Storens Flay Road.
No, but it's close to Bonneville.
Okay, pretty much Bonneville, nearly there, yeah. So today for us is just about learning to know a little bit about the brand. So you've done a few events for us. I think we had one, obviously the first one I did at my own, and then you came to us last year as well, pretty much in Joburg. We did it with Sophisticated Chef. And now the idea is we just want to chat about what's happening and what's been happening with Arendsig and learn a little bit about you behind the scenes and so forth as well. I know you're a fond rider on your bike and a fond athlete, I would say, as well. So tell us, how did you get involved in wine? I mean, I know it's pretty much a wine region and Robertson's known for it, but what really stimulated you to get involved with it?
Well, it's, I think first of all, I'm the 5th generation on farm, so farming always been part of what I've, my whole life was about. I mean, when I was young, I remember my dad always used to take me on the tractor, whiffing to the vineyards and stuff. So, yeah, we pretty much been cooperative farmers all the years. And throughout in high school, we were quite naughty. I remember on a young age, we started getting into my dad's wine collection, where the other guys will drink. 15 years old. Where the other guys will drink beer, we'll select some wine for us. And I just got better when I went to study.
With time.
Exactly. And I guess just I always loved vineyards and the wine side. And obviously I went to Elsenburg, and afterwards I went to Glencarlo, did some practicals there, and I'm like, seeing that the winemaking isn't actually that difficult.
Yeah.
So after that I went to America, did some practicals there. I visited Burgundy as well. And in farming these days, obviously you have to add value, and so instead of just becoming just a farmer, I decided I'm going to make a couple of barrels of wine. And ever since, that was what I wanted to do. So
always. Yes. I can remember when you just got into it. I remember because obviously I was in Robertson with Lawrence as well at school, and he was my matric, so that means he was my senior, pretty much. And he went out of it, and then he went to study, and then at one point I walked into you somewhere, and then you just started talking about wine, and I loved it. I'm like, geez, he is absolutely.
We'll do a pick at like 21.5, but on the clay soil where I need a little bit more acidity, where you get more roundness, you'll pick already at 19.5. So just to balance that out, so you can, by knowing the soil and the site, you can actually kind of manipulate your pick so the wine is an end of the rain balance and a nice wine. So
that's amazing, actually.
So you can, and with Shiraz, I'm looking at red wines in the area that I think is something that I've seen or the past 3. It took me probably 12 vintages to figure it out. I always harvested reds in this area. I thought, they must be super ripe, like at 25 bricks or 24.5. But the past 3 seasons, I started thinking completely differently, and that's to do probably with a Grenache vintage that happened to be selected at 22 bricks. And I thought, it's what a stuff up. And eventually the wine turned out beautifully, and I started picking my Bordeaux varietals, even my Shirazes, at more like 23 bricks. So it's almost 2 bricks lower than what I used to do. And the wines are just so much more, they're more exciting. They've got more red fruit, there's more spiciness in the wine. And I think that's just how you start learning your area and your specific sites where you're making your wines from.
I know, obviously, everyone knows about the Western Cape had a massive drought, and I know that last year was really good. I know that most people that I spoke to had really good harvest and so forth, but this year some people were really battling, especially red wines, I know, or red grapes specifically. Did you find it? Did you see something like that? There's a bit of a change because of 1 year later with the drought?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would say what the drought did to us, being an area where we do have enough water, but it was, in our instance, we haven't had good quality water. They were very high in almost salt content, you can say, and that doesn't work really very well with Karoo soil. So it was fine within the season when it was dry for us. We still had water because we can add some from the Breed River. But it had a very negative effect on the season after, like in this season 2019. I could really see the vineyard struggling, and the best thing that could have happened was the 97 mils of rain that we had within 2 days this season. Just
that was
after.
insane, yeah, I know.
And you could see the vineyards of, they're kind of giving new growth again, and they're happy. So, yeah, I guess it's definitely had production-wise also a big impact.
Volume,
I mean,
that
you
it
can see.
normally does.
But then again, at least it gives us the opportunity to put our price points up. So,
Talking about price points, actually, what would you say with wine markets at the moment? Is people drinking more wine, less wine? What are they doing? What is, in your perspective, what do you think? What's happening?
well, I definitely think people are more getting into wine, and especially seeing a lot of wine bars opening up.
Totally,
People coming after work, having a glass of wine. It's kind of as if there's hopefully we're finally starting to get like a culture of people that wants to drink wine and enjoy it. I mean, looking at the beer scene, that kind of craft beer scene, and it's as if I'm just looking at our group of friends.
Yes.
We're drinking less craft beers. We're back on the Castle Lights just for 1 or 2, and then we're on to the wine.
No.
But the odd whiskey and brandy is also not too bad afterwards. So I mean, there's trends, but I see wine always being like, especially in our group of friends,
The
definitely
millennials, pretty much.
key drinking product. I mean, if you look at the generation before us, my parents and so on, I mean, they drank wine, but it wasn't like we actually also quite picky in a way.
We're more quality controlled, I personally
like
think,
to,
if I look at it.
It's about quality and enjoying craft wine, something different, not just sticking to one brand in a way. You like to experiment.
Yeah, totally.
And so definitely I think that's been positive for the wine market. But then also an insight, the new generation in winemaking is also people that likes to experiment. The Swartland
They don't
did a
easily
lot.
stick to one brand, 100%. Yeah, they like to experiment.
Yeah, but also if you look at winemakers stylistically, if you look at the Swartland when they started the whole revolution, they kind of, for me, did fantastic for the industry because everyone started thinking more creative in a way, and gave the industry a little bit of a shake, and that's cool because if you go into a wine shop in Cape Town like Caroline's or Wine Concepts, I mean, it's very hard to choose a bottle of wine because each wine's so artistically made. If you look at the bottle, the label, and there's some great varietals.
Especially the Swartland wines. I've seen.
But I mean,
most interesting.
I'm only focusing on single vineyard wines. For me, it's important to work with a specific site and to really show, so you can actually, each wine's got like an ID. You can track it back exactly from where it's coming.
Totally.
And it's nice to walk like these different, through every season from the same block and experiencing that, it's not just a mingle mousse. You kind of really start learning that specific site in terroir. And I mean, when I started, the maximum size of a single vineyard block was 3 hectares. So all my Shiraz, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Chardonnay is 3 hectare vineyards. But the Chardonnay, there's one part that's not growing as well anymore. That's why it's giving a little bit lower tonnage than the Cabernet Sauvignon. And with the Shiraz, I thought good to actually plant 1,000 vines within the Shiraz block to make like how they do in Rhone Valley, and yeah, eventually I realized we're in Robertson, not in Rhone. So I was stuck with the 1,000 vines and didn't go with the Shiraz because the focus was single varietals. And yeah, so with the Shiraz, and we had, I mean, in 2000, this vintage, Shiraz as varietal didn't carry a lot of fruit. I mean, it was such a low yield vintage. I mean, I only got like 5.5 tons of a hectare. And the same with the Chardonnay. Chardonnay was also low in yield versus the rest of the varietals.
Yeah. If you would say lazy Sunday lunch, choose one. What would you
these
choose?
ones?
Yeah.
It's difficult. It's not
it's
fair
like choosing
to
one
answer.
child.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'll drink somebody else's wine, not my own. And it depends, you know, wine is, there's a time and place for every wine, you know. It depends what the occasion is, what you're feeling for, how much you've had the previous evening. and yeah, is it a sunny day or cloudy day?
Okay, so I'll picture it for you, then you need to tell me, okay? Let's say Sunday lunch, it's October, so it's springtime, it's not yet summer, it's actually wine on the river. What would you do if you're down at wine on the river and you would...
Then I'll probably start drinking more Grenache, you know, it's like not a heavy wine, it's a varietal. Oh yeah, fantastic. You need that.
Yeah.
So Grenache, you know, it's suited for, you can chill it down on a warm summer's day. But it's for me just perfect when it's like a change over from summer to winter.
Yes.
You know, when
it's very interesting you say that because I've drank Grenache before, but I've tasted that one time I came to visit here. He gave me a bottle and said, don't taste this, but chill it and then have it. It was amazing because I struggle to drink red wine, I'll be honest with you. I love white wine, I love it. And that Grenache was fantastic on a very hot, sorry, it's so loud.
You should have pictured like a rainy day.
I know that you're quite outdoorsy as well. You love riding your bike pretty much, and you did the Epic last year.
Yes, yeah, last year and definitely not this year.
But tell us how, when being in season, busy harvesting, getting to exercise, everything, how do you fit it all in?
That's why we still have to see how the 2018 vintage came out. But yeah, basically it was a lifetime opportunity. You just had to work it in somehow. How we've done it, I still don't know. But yeah, it's just we live in such an amazing place with various little poppies and great tracks. And Robertson for me is an amazing place for running, cycling. And,
I know there's a Java route or something here.
Yes, Ek van Hoofren.
Yes.
Philip Neil Retief has done quite a bit of effort.
Yes.
There's also gone for Uni in the Valley.
But they also they also do the Epic,
yeah,
don't they?
they did this year as well, and last year. But yeah, it's just, I think Robertson as an area, it's so well suited for that.
That's fantastic, very nice.
It's also, I mean, the area's got also a lot of great hikes and stuff to do. So
like the wine pockets.
People must come out and see the valley.
No, totally. But on that point, tell us about what are you doing, what events are you doing this year that people can come and enjoy and maybe come to you and come and have a dinner with you or something like that?
I mean, well, now the first event coming up is Wacky Wine.
Yes.
That's now in June, I think, first week of June.
Yeah, first week.
But I mean, they can obviously visit the website, Arendsig website, everything's on there as well. But then in October, we've got the Wine on the River.
That's my favorite. Yes. I do love it.
And then during the season, we've got the hands-on harvest.
Yes. Also lovely, then they eat with you around the table and everything like that.
This year we did like a winemaker's braai at the river. It was
fantastic.
Quite lekker. And then Robertson Slough. Obviously when people come out and just enjoy a lazy weekend in the valley.
Okay,
also more experiencing hands-on with us as
producers and so forth
from
as well.
Afar,
And tell me, and they can find out all of this on your Facebook pages, websites, things like that.
Yeah,
pretty much.
the website,
need to follow you. So
Arendsig.co.za.
Fantastic, and people can follow you there. And I think that pretty much sums it up for this afternoon. I know the rain is coming down quite hard as well, so people can't hear us. But thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. It's always wonderful being back in the Robertson Valley, and we hope to be back again soon.
Thanks,
Pleasure.
Enjoy. Cheers.
Jessie, what a good one. Thank you.